much for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. This is a testament to the people that we have at our facility and that we're privileged enough to train, and that they just, when the word goes out, we literally knew about this presentation the date a week ago. So in 1 week, we brought all of you here, and it's just absolutely awesome, and we really appreciate it. Please stop me at any time. I can go on and on about this stuff. I can talk about this stuff until 1 in the morning. Hopefully, this is the first time I'm giving this presentation, so it'll be a little rough around the edges. I have no idea how long it'll take. We'll try and get everyone out of here in a timely fashion. We might not be able to cover all of the material tonight. We will be doing this presentation at least on a monthly basis, or this workshop on a monthly basis at different location on different days. So hopefully if we don't catch all the information tonight, we'll do it in a subsequent. We're also making a video, and if any of you would like the presentation, a copy of the slides or anything, just email us and we will be happy to send them to you. We didn't want to kill 25 trees and print them all out if everyone didn't want one, okay? So I'm going to send around also a sign-in sheet, if you wouldn't mind, so we know, so we can take attendance. Give us your name, email address, phone number, and we're also offering for attendees of tonight's seminar, we usually do a charge for a fitness and nutrition evaluation where we sit down, go through your current nutrition, your goals, and run you through a fitness evaluation, and we're offering that to all of you because you're so nice to attend this for free. So if you'd be interested in that, it doesn't cost you anything, costs you an hour of your time. Please check the free evaluation. If you're not sure and maybe you're more interested after the presentation, please grab this at the end and check free evaluation. If you'd like to be part of our newsletter, check newsletter, okay? I'd like to just go around, first of all, and just kind of, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, let us know how you got here, how you came to know about this, and maybe if you have a fitness or nutrition goal, wouldn't mind sharing that with us. And I'll send this around that way. So Julie, if you wouldn't mind starting. So if you would have told me 2.5 years ago that I would be right here in front of you today giving a talk on women's fitness and nutrition, I would have told you you're crazy. So I'm going to kind of go through my story a little bit into why I'm doing this, what brought me to this point. One of the main reasons is that you see I'm surrounded by 4 lovely ladies in this picture. This is my wife and our 3 daughters, Reagan, Sasha, and Nina. So I've been privy to their challenges in terms of their body image, wearing the right clothes, I'm too fat, their hormonal challenges every now and again, and I'm really focused on making sure that they have healthier, happier, more fulfilling lives. And so I've become very interested in trying to solve this challenge of women's fitness and improving the body image of women and giving them the same power that men have had for a long time. So 2.5 years ago, I was a financial advisor. I was a financial advisor like Dan for 20 years. And there's me sitting in my office trying to figure out what stocks and bonds to buy for people and what insurance is the right insurance and where the market is going. And I had a great career, and I had my own practice called White House Financial right above the Common Grill. That was our office. And I did that on my own with my own firm. We had 5 employees for 15 years. And it was a great career, but I never really felt, I enjoyed having my own business and helping people. That's what I enjoyed about it. I kind of did the financial stuff because it was a good way to get into business for yourself. I never really felt like it was me. I didn't wake up in the morning. Actually, I did, but I didn't do it because I really wanted to, read about the stock market and what stocks to buy and things of that nature. It provided a good living for our family, and it allows us to create a business for 15 years. But after 15 years, I just really started getting disenchanted with the business, just dealing with money. Everything was all about money all the time, and that can wear on you. From time to time, you go to a party and you go to your Christmas at your in-laws, and everyone wants to know what stock to buy. I'm sure you can relate to that. Now they want to know how to lose all their belly fat. But I would rather talk about that than talk about what stock to buy. Because you know what? I really didn't know what stock to buy. To me, it was a flip of the coin. And I could give you I have an MBA from the University of Chicago in finance, and I could give you the theory behind what stock to buy. But it just really never felt like it was me. And over time, it just began to wear on me, and it really caused some challenges for me in my life. What I have been into and passionate about since I was a sophomore in high school is fitness. I've studied martial arts, I've lifted weights, I've ran the Boston Marathon, I've done Ironman triathlons. Since I was a sophomore in high school, fitness has always been my positive escape. And I've always loved pushing my physical and mental limits through fitness. And anytime I had a problem, I'd go out for a run, I'd lift weights, and it really helped me out in many ways throughout my life. And I've always been passionate about that. Some people like to play golf, I like to work out. In 2012, after I ran my Ironman triathlon, which is a 2.4 mile ocean swim, 112 mile bike ride, and a 26.2 mile run at the end, I was tired of running, biking, and swimming for hours and hours and hours on end. Was looking, like a lot of you, for something new, different. I was taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu lessons at this gym in Ann Arbor, and they were upstairs, and we'd be rolling around. I'd be getting choked out by 10-year-olds, and down below they were doing all this crazy weightlifting, loud music. I thought it was some U of M training center. It turned out it was a CrossFit gym. So I went and signed up for it. This was my first coach, Mike O'Brien, and it was really the first time that I was in a group class. There's Reagan. This is actually her first CrossFit class back in 2013 or something. And it was the first time I ever had a coach for my fitness. I always did everything on my own. I'd just go run. Maybe I'd read a book on it. But I was, read Muscle and Fitness magazine from cover to cover. So I thought I knew what I was doing. And it really struck me having a coach, and I was lucky to have a couple of really good coaches that taught me how to move correctly, that motivated me. And I was 45 at the time, I'm currently 50, and I didn't think I could get much better fitness level. The first workout I did, like I said, I just finished an Ironman triathlon. I thought I was in shape, and it was a partner workout. My partner was a 65-year-old man who was heavier than I was, and he was standing over me saying, "Come on, man, you can do it." And I was lying on the floor looking up at the ceiling saying, "Oh my God, what is this?" I thought I was in shape. And a lot of you who have done it can relate to that. And the other thing that surprised me is working out with a group, having a community of like-minded people that are supporting you and cheering for you. I never thought I'd like to work out in a group. I'd run miles on my own, but it really motivated me, and my fitness level just went through the roof. As a 45-year-old man, that wasn't that heavy. And it forced me to start eating better. I thought I could eat whatever I wanted because I worked out, which a lot of people do, and you can't. What you put in your body, it's fuel, and you're going to get out what you put in, whether you work out or not. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. So I was disenchanted with my business, the financial business. And so I was really getting into this CrossFit thing. I had an opportunity to get certified as a CrossFit trainer that I was just going to do just because I enjoyed it, to learn more about it, to get better at it. And I got certified in a couple of other, integrative nutrition, a certified health coach, and studied with Coach Mike Barwis at the Barwis Methods for their strength and conditioning. And I was just kind of doing this because I needed something else to learn about to get me to that next level and get my mind off the financial business. And lo and behold, I had an opportunity to sell my financial business. I got a really good offer, and I never ever thought that I would sell my business. I thought I'd be doing this till the day I died, whether I liked it or not. It's just what I did. It's who I thought I was. But I had this offer, and I started thinking about it, and it surprised me that I actually even started entertaining it. And I thought, that's kind of weird. I wonder why you're doing that. And so I talked to Leslie, my wife, and we kicked it around. And she knew I was unhappy, and God love her, she supports me in all my crazy endeavors for 27 years. And because for me, if you knew me, doing something for 20 years, that's a long time for me. I have a very short attention span. I need to be on fire the moment I get up in the morning till the moment I go to bed, and like passionate about something. And I did something for 15 years, 20 years. So we decided to sell the business, and I was sitting in my office before it closed, and a friend of mine called me, and he said, "So, what are you gonna?" And the other thing was, I knew that I just had this calling that I wanted to do something that would really help people. And because I wasn't feeling like we were doing that in the investment business. I wanted to do something that really helped people get better. I didn't know what it was. I knew from working with my coach in the CrossFit classes, it made me think, that I was going to do that on the side. That was, seemed like that'd be something. I saw how he changed people's lives. And my friend said, "So, what are you going to do?" And I said, "I don't know. Maybe I thought about being a paramedic. That interested me. I was going to be a CrossFit coach maybe at night on the side somewhere." And he said, "I think you'd be really good at coaching people in fitness." And I never even thought about that. So I started thinking, that kind of put a seed in my head, and started thinking about it. We have a farm outside of Chelsea. We have a big barn, and we were going to do it in the barn. Maybe we were thinking about it, but Leslie wasn't too keen on people using our house for the bathroom at 6 in the morning. I don't know why, but so I just I couldn't get the thought out of my mind. It's just all I thought about. So we sold the business, and we found a location just outside of town in Lima Township. And everything just fell into place. Before I coached my first class in July of 2014, I had never coached a class before in my life. And I was something about it, I just felt like this is the right thing to do, and we'll figure it out. And so it's been 2.5 years, and I can't tell you how fulfilling it's been. Literally every day. I'm not going to say, there are obviously challenges like anything. But 2.5 years later, I'm just absolutely fired up about it, what we do every day, because we really do change people's lives. And I don't miss the financial business and for 1 second. And God love the people that still do it. But so our vision is to create a community like we have here, of people who are inspired to live healthier, happier, more fulfilling lives, and who will be the beacons for their communities and their families. Because really what happens when you get one person in shape, they go home and they tell their husband, "Hey man, you got to do this, you got to get in shape," and it just creates an energy. And then we have whole families that train at our gym, and it just the fact that all of you are here today is just like, we had 1 week to put this presentation together, and boom, it's like you're all here. It's absolutely amazing. And that just makes the world a better place in general because of that energy, because we're getting better. What we do and how we're going to do this is by helping people move better, eat better, and break through their limits. It's a lot about being uncomfortable, and I don't think I can do that. And we have people with back problems that come in. My doctor told me not to lift anything over 10 pounds. Okay, can you lift this plastic PVC pipe? Yeah, okay. And 6 months later, they're deadlifting 250 pounds. And it breaks through these mental limits, and that's what really helps them. We do this by having group functional fitness classes. Call them CrossFit, call them whatever you want. CrossFit is just a philosophy. It's not any kind of one exercise. It's functional fitness, meaning it's stuff that you do out there in everyday life, not useless things like just doing this 5,000 times, which you don't really do out there in the real world. We offer personal one-on-one training as well as the group classes. So if group classes aren't your thing, we have a program for that. We offer nutrition and mental toughness training. So outside of the fitness, the nutrition, we're certified in that. And then we do workshops like this to educate for free. We don't charge anything for them. Occasionally we do specialized workshops like a running workshop where we might charge $20 for. So, any questions? As I said, we've seen phenomenal results in using the information that I'm going to share with you tonight. In a short amount of time, we literally, by changing people's physiques, we change their entire mental outlook and have them just live a better life. And these are literally two examples. If you go to our website, countryspiritcrossfit.com, and I'm going to give everyone business cards. If you want one of my cards, they're up here. They have our website, our email address. If you want to call me, email me about anything, please do. We have tons of testimonials from people 70 years old to little kids, moms, men, that have just seen phenomenal results. One of the things that surprised me in creating the business is that 77% of our members, on average over time, it's never been lower than 66%. So it averages between 66 and for the last year, it's been about, you can see from the turnout here tonight, most of our members are women. So, light bulb, MBA business major, maybe we should focus on working with women because for some reason we attract them. They do very well, and there are specific issues that women have that men don't have, and that's one of the reasons, in addition to having a wife and 3 daughters, that led me to this path where we are tonight. Over the last 2.5 years, I've spent almost 4,000 hours helping over 150 clients achieve their health and fitness goals. Again, 77% or so of them being women. And really, we've done it on an experimental basis. What works? What doesn't work? Okay, I'm eating this much protein. Okay, let's pull that back. And really, it's been an experimentation, and we've achieved results. Sometimes the results have been better, sometimes not, but that's how we've done it, by actually doing it, and not the theory behind it. But I'm also have an engineering background, so I need to know theory behind the practice. And one of our coaches, Shannon, that's who's coaching tonight because I'm here, she's big into women's fitness. She's got a little bit different training background. She's been a personal trainer for 20 years, where I was a financial advisor for 20 years. And she brought this book to my attention called Roar by Dr. Stacy Sims. And I read it, and it was like, it literally paralleled everything that we'd learned from our experience in doing this. And I was like, oh my God, we got to do a seminar on this. This is the PhD exercise and nutrition physiologist. That's all she does. And she's in the theory side of it, the science side of it. And she's also an athlete herself. And she trains elite athletes. So I contacted Dr. Sims. I had a few questions that came out of the book and a few questions that weren't in the book from our experience, and asked her if we could use her materials and what I learned from the book and what we've learned in a presentation, and she was very gracious and said absolutely, and that's how we got here tonight. And one of the big things that this research shows is that you are not small men. Surprise. You've been treated like small men, smaller men, by the fitness industry and by the nutrition industry. But you have different needs as women than men. Men are the reason men can go on all these crazy diets and see results really fast, and women can't. We're going to get into that, but there's a difference. So we wanted to find out what are these differences and what do we need to focus on to make sure that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. The other thing I like about our program is that when people start doing it, they start thinking like an athlete. I don't like calling our members or clients. Sometimes we do. One of the things that really struck with me when I first started, my coach called me an athlete. I was his athlete. I didn't think of, even though I'd done all this athletic stuff, I didn't think of myself as an athlete because I wasn't on a team or anything like that. But it really changed my mindset, because if you're an athlete, you know, Venus or Serena Williams, and your compensation and significant and your fans is based on how you eat, how you train, you're going to have a different mindset with what you put in your body, how much sleep you get. And you know, they're not perfect, but they're going to have that different mindset. And really that's what all of you have to have as well, because you know, you're moms, you have jobs, you have people that depend on you. That's even more important than being an athlete that's just getting paid huge amounts of dollars. So you should be thinking like you're an elite athlete with everything you put in your body and how you move, because it's very important. So what we're going to cover tonight, and again, as I said, we probably won't have time to cover all of this, but hopefully you'll find value, and hopefully you can come back for one of our other presentations where we'll cover the rest of it. We're going to cover 6 practices that will give you the biggest bang for your fitness buck that you should do. If you're doing something else, you should do these in addition, and they are going to jumpstart your fitness. We're going to cover how men and women are different, so the battle of the sexes. We're going to cover why lifting weights will not make you look like a Russian shot putter, contrary to popular belief. You know, I noticed a lot of you say, we hear this over and over, I want to get stronger, I want to get stronger, I want to have more stamina. Using weights and resistance, that's how you're going to get it. You're not going to get it on the elliptical or the cardio machine, okay? How all aspects of your life are connected to your weight and your overall health. We did that mindfulness. That's just our mind. We're not even moving. It's a big part of how much you weigh, what your body composition is, and your overall health. We'll talk about specifically making weight, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight. What's the science behind that? Fueling for success. How you should eat or drink. We call it fueling because that's what you're doing. If you think about your eating as fuel, not just eating, I'm not just putting something in my mouth because I'm hungry. You're an elite athlete. I'm fueling to get the highest performance out of this body and mind. If you told me I'd be talking about demystifying and mastering your menstrual cycle 2.5 years ago, I really would have thought you were crazy. We may not have enough time to get to that. And we also have in this presentation talking about menopause and exercise and pregnancy. And as I said, if we don't get to that, which we probably won't get to the last parts, if you want the slides, just email me and we'll send you this whole presentation. It's chock full of great stuff. You won't have to read the whole book to get that. I'm going to cover what you should remember, because I know I've covered a lot already, just about me pretty much. But this is what you should remember. I'm going to cover what you need to remember now as opposed to the end, because you'll probably be really tired by then. Number 1, you need to define your goals. You need to be specific, more so than I want to lose weight and tone up and be strong. When you start doing a program like ours, we measure everything. So being strong means I want to add 10 pounds to my deadlift. That's more specific. That's something we can measure versus being strong. What does that mean? You want to lift this barn up, or you want to do 12-ounce beer curls? What does that mean? How much weight do you want to lose? 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever that is. We need to be more specific about your goals. We already said, think like an elite athlete. We're going to cover the 7 great practices to being your biggest bang for your fitness buck. Don't focus on your scale so much. When you're working out, your weight, obviously your weight matters at a certain aspect. If you're obese, you don't want to be obese, but people get caught up with this thing in the scale, and it's really not healthy. Because if you're doing the right things, you're going to be building muscle mass at the same time, and the scale's not going to be really an accurate reflection of your health. Eat more of the right foods on a regular basis and don't starve yourself. It's not about counting calories, it's about counting the right stuff. And we're gonna cover what that right stuff is. Fruits and vegetables, the right grains. The calorie thing, it just causes more stress and it's not even valid for the most part. You can't tell me that eating the same number of calories of McDonald's and the same number of calories of broccoli equate to the same health benefit. It doesn't make sense, and scientifically it doesn't make sense, okay? We see this especially with women. Who eats breakfast in here? Show of hands, on a regular basis. Okay, that's probably mostly because I've harped on the people that come to our place. That's right. So most women don't. They think breakfast is a cup of coffee. We're in this mindset of, I need to starve myself because that's what the media tells me I need to do. I need to work out and eat less. I'm telling you, that's not the way to go. You need to fuel your body. If your body thinks you're starving, guess what's going to happen? It's going to hang on to every fat molecule that it possibly can because it thinks you're in survival mode, okay? And what's the best fuel when you're in survival mode? It's not your glycogen, okay, the fast fuel, but it's your fat, okay? So eat breakfast even if you're not hungry. I'm not talking, you don't need to eat 8 sausages and pancakes, but a smoothie, some fruit, something. And eat soon after your workout, between 30 and 60 minutes. Your body is starving for fuel at that time. It's very important, especially for women, because of your physiology, to eat breakfast and then to eat 30 to 60 minutes with protein, carbs, some fat after your workout. That's going to get your biggest bang for the buck, believe it or not, for weight loss as well. Lift weights. That's going to get you stronger. That's going to help you lose weight, believe it or not. We'll cover that. Join a community that will support and motivate you. If you're not self-motivated, most of us aren't. I love working out. I always have. I've been fairly motivated. But I didn't know how unmotivated I was and how having a community behind me that's going to support me that I know I'm going to see at the gym. And I'm not talking about just, it's good to see anyone at the gym, but seeing people where you're going to be doing kind of the same thing, you're in the same program, it's a whole different mindset and it just helps expedite your results. Drink more water and get more rest. Most of us are dehydrated, especially in the wintertime. We don't drink enough water, and I like to see all this water here. That's really good. That's going to jumpstart your fitness if you're not drinking enough water. And focus on improving what we call primary foods. Primary foods are things like your stress, your career, your rest, your spirituality, your relationships. These all come into play in your physical being, okay? Any questions? Oops, sorry. So we already kind of went over the goals. You need to be specific. What do you want? More energy? Get off prescription drugs? We kind of went, a lot of you shared a lot of that. That's awesome. Get out of your mind this ideal body that we see on TV or in magazines. It doesn't exist. It only exists on TV and magazines. Okay, and to try and strive for that all the time is going to drive you insane. You got to figure out what's right for you as an individual. We're all different. Okay, now we're going to get into the workout part. Are you ready? We're going to move. We've already covered the mindfulness breathing. If you do that before every workout or maybe the first part of your day, it's going to make a huge difference in your results in whatever you do. Try it for 5 minutes. All right? So we're going to go into the other room now, and we're going to go through some of these basic movements that if you're not doing them, you should be doing them because they're a foundation for any fitness level. It's the air squat, PVC shoulder rollouts, the overhead squat, lunges, burpees, squat jumps, jumping lunges, planks, and Superman. Okay? So let's head out into the next room, please. if there's one exercise you should do on a regular basis every day, if not every other day, it's squats. Why? Because our legs and our glutes, our butt, are our biggest muscles. When we get those in shape, the rest of our body, which is an amazing machine, follows suit faster. Okay, so that's why in our program, we do a lot of squats. When I first started this, all I did was run, bike and swim, and lift weights, and I could squat about like right here. And I couldn't get down, and my knees hurt every time I went for a 3-mile run. My knees would ache. My coach said, okay, we're gonna do a lot of squats. Gave me the same spiel. And I said, Coach, I can't do a lot of squats because my knees hurt. I get knee pain. And he said, okay, we're gonna do a lot of squats. And and we did a lot of squats, but he showed me how to do them correctly. Yes, if you're doing squats incorrectly, you're gonna have a lot of knee pain. You're gonna exacerbate any knee pain you have. Women have knees and feet that pronate. Okay, that means you're weaker because you're quad dominant, because of your hips, because of the ability to have babies. You're built differently than men, which means that you don't have as much strength in your hamstrings and your butt as you do in your quads because of the width of your hips. That leads to quad dominance. That causes all women have 70% more knee issues, ACL tears. You see, on the girls' soccer team, man, every one of those girls has an ACL tear in high school, just about. And it's because we only work this front part of our leg. So the proper way to squat, and this is if you have weight on your back, if you have weight overhead, if you're squatting down to pick something up, this is the proper way to do it every time. Everything from the waist down is the same. I want my feet just about shoulder width or a little wider, okay? Ideally, if you're flexible enough, you want your feet parallel to each other. Most of us aren't. Most of us have to turn our toes out slightly, okay? The first thing you're gonna do is push your butt and hips back like you're trying to sit in a chair that's behind you that you can't see. This lines everything up correctly. If I just try and squat down, bad things happen. I never want my knees going over my toes, and I never want my knees going in, okay? So if I just squat down, my knees go over my toes, and it's bad. So I wanna push that butt back. I wanna push my knees out that way at the same time. And if I can, ideally, you want to get that hip crease parallel or below, all right? The other thing I want to do is keep my chest up. So I'm going to lift my hands to keep that chest up, push out on your knees, and stand up. You should be pushing through your heels the entire time. You should be able to wiggle your toes the entire time you're squatting, okay? So I'm going to say down. You're going to push your butts back, push your knees up, and you're gonna squat down, lift, okay? People don't warm up their knees enough, they don't squat enough, and they don't do proper shoulder mobility. This next exercise is a great warm-up for your shoulders. What you're gonna do is you're gonna have a wide grip on this bar, and you're gonna have to, those of you that, you're gonna have to come forward. So don't try and do it while I'm demonstrating, okay? Just watch the demonstration and then we'll do it together, all right? So wide grip on the bar. I'm gonna say over, you're gonna shrug your shoulders into your ears, and you're gonna keep your arms straight and pass that bar over and touch your back. And then I'm gonna say back, and you're gonna bring it back. When I first started doing this, I was like about right here, okay? I had terrible shoulder mobility. The wider your hands are, the easier it is. The more narrow your hands are, if you have good shoulder mobility like Reagan, you're gonna have your hands closer, all right? So, all these are simple movements that if you don't have these movements down, so you can't squat without bending over, your knees pronate in. You can't do shoulder rollouts regularly without, you're like that. Yeah. That means you have a deficiency. These are like a baseline test that you need to practice. So even if you're running 20 miles a day and you think you're fit, You're going to the gym, you're doing bicep curls, whatever you're doing. If you can't do these, guess what? You're not as fit as you should be. And these are the things that are going to keep you safe and from being injured and living longer, okay? So that's the air squat and the shoulder rollout. Next, we're going to kind of combine those and do the overhead squat. This is a great testament of how mobile, how flexible we are, okay? This is something you can work on. So you might start out and be like this, okay? You do enough of these, and over time, you're going to be able to hold weight over your head or just a PVC pipe and get down in this good position, all right? You need both flexibility. Guess what? Doing 30 squats like this, you're stretching and you're warming your body up as opposed to the typical you see people coming to the gym and they're, you know. What is that? You're not warmed up yet. You're gonna tear something. Doing 30 air squats, I'm getting warmed up. I'm warming my body up and I'm stretching at the same time. It's called a dynamic stretch. It's much more effective. So the overhead squat, you're gonna take this, you know, how much does this cost? I'm sure we all have, you know, a broomstick in our home. You can use these. It's not, you know, and literally you're gonna get such a great bang for your fitness buck with this simple, stupid, inexpensive tool. So next, we're going to combine those two. You're going to have a wide grip on that bar, kind of as wide as you needed for those shoulder rollouts. You're going to have your feet outside shoulder width, and you're going to squat down, pushing my butt and hips back, pushing my knees out that way, keeping my weight on my heels, and trying to keep that bar over my ankles. Most of you are going to be coming like this or coming like this. Okay, that's perfectly normal for most people that are starting this. All right, that's what I did when I first started this at 45. I want to twist my elbows in, internally rotate my elbows, because ideally, some point you'll have weight on a bar and you want your lats to support that weight. So butt back, knees out. Looking straight ahead. Don't look up at the ceiling and don't look down at the ground. So I want everyone to try 2 or 3 of those. And after that, give your... No, it's you're locked out overhead. Because it's tight, because you're not used to doing it. That's why this movement points out all those areas where we're not flexible. And that means we need to work on that. Okay, that's the overhead squat. Next is the lunge. Great exercise. You don't need any equipment for a lunge. You're going to take one step forward you're going to lead with your heel as far as you can and come down and touch your back knee to the ground if you can, keeping that front shin at 90 degrees, all right? So you shouldn't be like this and you shouldn't be like that. I want you to twist your torso as you lunge. Thanks, Laura. And then back up, and then you're going to do the opposite leg. If you can't get all the way down to the ground, just go down as low as you can, keeping your chest up. All right? Let's see a few forward lunges. Twist that torso. All right. Yeah, the other thing I forgot to mention on the lunge, you want to keep your feet like they're on railroad tracks, all right? So you don't want your feet like right in front of each other. You want a good hip width base, all right? That's the forward lunge. Then we have the backward lunge. So stepping backwards, keeping your chest up and lifting up to the sky, stretching that lower back. So I'm taking a step backwards now. Yeah. All right. So next we have the burpee. Yeah. Everybody's favorite. Yes, there's a lot of different variations of the burpee. At its core, all the burpee is getting down on the floor. You know, how many times do we get down on the floor and get up? You know, that's how people get hurt. We don't. But you should be able to, like 100 times with no problem, okay? All a burpee is coming straight down on the floor, chest and legs on the ground. You don't have to do a push-up. All you have to do is get off, lead with your butt like a push-up, okay? But you don't want to lead. You don't want to lead like this. That's bad for your back. And get up off the floor. Jump and clap. Why do we jump and clap? Because we're happy. That's right. I'm not going to make you do burpees, but the point is, if you don't have a lot of, see how well they're trained.
She said they wanted to.
Oh, okay. You want it? You guys want it? No. Okay. So just getting down. You know, even if you're this slow, okay. If you start out like this, I mean, Leslie saw me working out today. That's how I was doing burpees. Because, yeah, that's right. This, right? It's all good, you know. But so then over time, you get faster, you get faster, you get faster. If you don't have time to go out for a run, I know we'd all like to run, or most of us, then do burpees. But if you're in a hotel room, if you're at your house, if you're out anywhere and you want to get your workout in, you know, 10 minutes, many burpees as I can do, you're going to get a great cardiovascular response, okay? It's so simple. We don't need all these machines. We don't need to be so complicated about our fitness. I mean, how complicated is that? Yeah, they suck, but that's so simple. You don't need any space to do it, and it's going to jumpstart your fitness better than a 20-minute run or walk. Now, those are good too. Those are important, but you got to do both. Next, we have the jump squat. So it's just like the air squat, except we put our hands behind our head, we squat, and we jump. Do 20 of those and see what your heart rate does and how your legs feel. Jump squat. Then we have jumping lunges, a variation of the lunge, except we're jumping in between. Okay? Cardio. It's going to get your work in that stamina in your muscles and your heart. All right, so all of those, the burpee, the jump squat, the jumping lunges, you know, those are 3 movements you can do literally in a space that's tiny in a closet and get a phenomenal workout, okay? Lastly, planks and Superman. Our core is very important. When we do full body movements like the squat and we add weight, guess what? You're using your core. You're not just using your legs. If you're doing them right, you're contracting all those muscles. Planks are better than crunches. We see crunches. That's because we can sell all kinds of crunch exercise gear on TV, on the infomercials. A plank, you don't need anything. Guess what? Hang out here as long as you can. So do this as long as you can. And that's all you have to do. Superman gets the other part. So the plank gets mostly the front part of my core, my abs, all right? Little of the lower back. Superman is going to focus on the lower back. Heels together, arms out straight, thumbs pointed to the ceiling, lifting my chest and my legs off the ground. Hold this, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever you want. That's going to get your core. No equipment. Biggest equipment we had is that PVC pipe, okay? Any question? You guys are too easy. All right, let's come back in and sit down. Thank you. All right. Yeah, yeah, I'm probably loud enough. Thanks. So those are some very, very basic, very important. Don't think that they're not important because they're so basic. If you master those simple movements, your fitness is going to be at that much of a higher level, no matter what else you're doing. Incorporate those into the things you're still doing. Practice some mindfulness breathing before you work out, like we did earlier. Here's a workout routine you can use, and use all those movements. Start out with 10 of each. Planks, hold for 5 seconds. Set the timer on your phone. 4 sets. Do 5 burpees. Then increase to 11, 12, all the way up to 30. that's going to measure your fitness. If you did that 3 or 4 times a week, you'd be a rock star. And that's all you have to do. It's not that complicated. If you're already in shape or you're doing other things, which is fine, though, constantly varied, this is a great warm-up routine. This will warm you up dynamically versus that static stretch waiting to pop that hamstring because you're not warmed up yet. And always focus on your form. Don't try and just do a bunch of reps with poor form. That's why it helps to have a coach, even for 1 or 2 sessions, so they can at least check your form. Constantly vary your routine. The body, even if you're out of shape, the body gets used to how you're moving so fast because it's an amazing machine. You got to constantly vary what you're doing and mix it up to get the biggest benefit and make it fun. It's not, sure, we want to do things that are uncomfortable and outside our comfort zone, but it should also be fun if we can make it fun. We already talked about this, that all that's dynamic warm-up. Okay, the static warm-up is not the ideal. Once you're warm, then all those stretches that we learned in high school are good, but you need to be warm first. Work out with others who motivate and support you. That just makes it that much better and easier. Again, focus on your form. Most of us aren't working out intensely enough. And what I mean by intensity, I don't mean like just, going crazy like, things you see on TV in the CrossFit games or whatever. It means to your intensity, whatever that is, just a little bit higher so that you're uncomfortable. If you're not sore after almost every workout, and I don't mean sore like injured, but if you're not sore, you're really not doing anything. Your body's used to it. You might be maintaining, that's fine, it's better than doing nothing. But if you wanna get better, you need to be sore most of the time. All right. Now we're going to talk about lifting weights. It's very important, especially for women, to lift weights. Here's 2 of our clients. Don't they look awesome? So many women, we hear this all the time. They come into the gym and they see the barbells. Oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to be toned. I'm going to do high reps. Okay? It's a mindset that we've been brainwashed that if you lift weights, you're going to get big and bulky. And unless you're drinking a gallon of milk a day and doing a certain type of workout or taking anabolic steroids, it's just not going to happen. If you find yourself getting bulky, then you're not losing fat enough. Something's off with your diet or your primary foods or something, and maybe you're building muscle under the fat. But you should be scared more of muscle loss than you are of getting bulky. Muscle loss for women is much more common than getting bulky from lifting weights. And the older we get, a common misconception is, no, I shouldn't be lifting heavy weights, and obviously you don't want to do anything where you're going to hurt yourself, but you need to maintain that strength because as we get older, we just degenerate that much faster. So it's even more important to lift weights, and it's just the most efficient way to get that, okay? I asked specifically, because we hear this all the time, I asked Dr. Sims, point blank, okay, what's your opinion, lifting weights, getting bulky? And this is what she said. By doing power moves and low rep, high weight strength training, you enhance the number of fibers recruited for a contraction, but don't really grow the size of your muscles very much. The short of it is that you end up with stronger, more powerful contraction with less muscle bulk. That's from a PhD exercise physiologist, woman whose main research in what she does is studying the differences between men and women and exercise. So it's right from the horse's mouth. It's just, if it were that easy, weightlifting, bodybuilding women wouldn't spend 10 hours in the gym and dial in their diet to the nth degree and shoot steroids to try and gain 3 pounds of muscle. It's just not that easy. Any questions about that? Protein is going to help your muscles. Protein is going to help your muscles repair. And most of us don't get enough protein, actually. So, you might be getting too much protein. It just depends on you. But eating protein is not going to make your muscles big and bulky. It's going to help them repair faster so you can work out again. It's like steroids don't make your muscles big and bulky. All they do is repair faster so you can spend 8 hours in the gym making them bigger. It's not like if I didn't work out that much and I shot steroids, my muscles is going to blow up. Same thing with protein. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Again, don't focus so much on the scale. There's a high correlation between lean body mass and muscle mass. You want more muscle mass because muscle burns more calorie. Muscle is about 15% heavier than fat. So a lot of people that join us, especially women, they say, yeah, I feel great. My clothes are fitting great. I feel awesome, but I gained 5 pounds. Who cares? It's all up here, right? It's all some theory. How much are you supposed to weigh? Who knows? You're supposed to weigh what you weigh to feel good, period, right?